Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever dreamed of getting a fully funded master's degree in the UK, you have landed in the perfect spot. Today, we are diving deep into one of the biggest and best opportunities out there, the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And look, this isn't just a scholarship. For so many people, it's a life-changing ticket to a world-class education. And when we say fully funded, we absolutely mean it. We're not just talking about tuition here. This means your flights to and from the UK are covered, your university fees are paid in full, and you get a pretty generous monthly stipend to live on. I mean, this is the real deal, designed to remove all those financial worries so you can just focus on your studies. All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll break down exactly what makes this the ultimate UK scholarship. Then, and this is super important, we'll get into the two-way application process. After that, we'll cover everything you need for a strong application, share some winning tips, and finally, we'll look at what happens after you hit submit. Let's get right into it. So let's really get into the nitty-gritty of what makes this opportunity so incredible. What does fully funded actually include? Well, it's probably a lot more comprehensive than you think. Seriously, it's the whole shebang. Your tuition fees wiped out, round-trip airfare booked and paid for. You get a monthly stipend to cover your rent, food, your day-to-day living. But then there's more. You get a clothing allowance, which, let's be honest, is a huge help if you're coming from somewhere warmer. You even get a grant for your thesis and another one for study-related travel. They've literally thought of everything. And let's just focus on that monthly stipend for a second. We're talking over £1,400 a month. And get this, it was recently increased. That just shows you they're really committed to making sure scholars can live comfortably and aren't stressing about money. You can actually just focus on your degree. Okay, now we need to talk about what is, hands down, the most important and, frankly, the most confusing part of this entire thing. Getting this next part right is absolutely key, so you're going to want to pay close attention here. This is the big question, right? And it's the one that trips up so many applicants. See, it's not as simple as filling out one form. And that's the key detail we have to get right from the very start. Okay, so look at this. This slide breaks it down perfectly. You have to submit two completely separate applications. The first one is for the scholarship money itself, and that goes through the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission portal. Let's just call it the CSC. It has a very strict deadline, usually early December. The second application is to the university itself for your actual course. Those deadlines can be different. Let me be clear. You have to do both, no exceptions. So what's the number one takeaway here? You've got to prioritize that scholarship application. You absolutely have to get that thing submitted before the December deadline. A lot of times, the university application can be done a little later, but that scholarship deadline, it's non-negotiable. Get that one in first. Okay, so we've got the process sorted. Now let's talk about what actually goes into the application. What documents do you need to start gathering to build a really strong case for yourself? The good news is, it's pretty straightforward. First, you'll need some proof of identity. A passport is best, but your national ID card usually works for the first stage. Second, you'll need your full academic transcript with all your grades. And third, you just need the names and contact details for 2 referees. And a little tip here, your referees won't be contacted right away, only if you get nominated later. So for now, just have their details ready to go. Now let's talk grades. The standard requirement is what's called a second-class upper, or a 2-1. But hey, if you have a second-class lower, or a 2-2, don't panic. There's still a way in. You can still be eligible if you also have another relevant master's degree where you got really high marks. So there's a clear path for a lot of great candidates. Okay, you know the process. You've got your documents lined up. So how do you stand out from the crowd? Let's dive into some powerful strategies, some real insider tips that can give you a serious edge. So let me ask you something. When you apply for this, are you stuck with just one application for one dream course at one university? Because the answer might just surprise you. And honestly, it's a total game changer. That's right, you can apply for as many as you want. Look at this, 6 or even more. We know people who have applied for 4, 5, even 6 different courses and gotten nominations from several of them. This right here is probably the most important piece of advice I can give you. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Apply widely. Okay, but there's a really important technical point you need to know to make this work. For every single course you apply for, you have to create a brand new, separate application on that scholarship portal. So 5 courses means 5 separate scholarship applications. Yeah, it's a bit more work, but believe me, it is so, so worth it.
So, what are the people reading your application actually looking for? It really comes down to two key things. First, your academic quality. That's what your transcript is for. But second, and this is just as important, is your potential for impact. You've got to draw a really clear line between the course you want to study and a real world problem back home. So, for example, if flooding is a big issue in your country, applying for a master's in disaster management makes a really powerful case.
Okay, so you've done it. You've submitted all your applications, you've made your case for impact. Now what? The wait can feel, well, really long. So let's walk through the timeline so you know exactly what to expect. So here's how it all plays out. You hit submit by the December deadline, and then you wait. Around April or May, the universities start making their nominations, and that's when they'll contact your referees. By June or July, the shortlists are usually done. Then the final official offers from the Commonwealth Commission itself start rolling out after that. So yeah, it takes a while, but it's a very clear, structured process. All right, if you take away just 3 things from all this, let it be these. Number 1, start early. Don't leave it to the last minute. Number 2, stay organized, especially if you're juggling multiple applications. And number 3, the most important one, apply to as many relevant courses as you possibly can. That is your best shot at success. Look, this is genuinely one of the best, most comprehensive scholarships in the world. The opportunity is right there, and thousands of students have already made this dream a reality. The entire journey starts with that first step. So the only question left is, are you ready to get started?